Hello, everybody, and welcome. Episode 20 of the Tennessee Twos Disc Golf Podcast. I don't know. If we were at episode 1 and you told me we were actually going to make it to episode 20, I'm not sure if I'd have believed you. But here we are. My name is Daniel Bacon. Across from me is my co host, Ethan Jenkins. We are excited to have you guys here with us. Just a quick reminder if you guys are here watching, make sure you hop in chat, give us your comments, questions, concerns, anything you got for us. When we're playing games, feel free to hop in, give your answers as well. And if you are listening to this at a later date on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, just to let you know, we do record this live. I'm not sure we're going to be recording live on Tuesdays too much longer. We uh, we want you guys to kind of talk to us a little bit. If you guys really like us doing it on Tuesdays, let us know. If you guys would like us to maybe try recording on a different day, we're thinking about trying some other days. There are a lot of people in the disc golf community who have started doing their lives on Tuesdays. It's a lot of competition. So if you guys think, I'm thinking maybe Monday nights around the same time. If you guys would like to hang out with us on Monday nights, let us know. If there's another night, let us know. We're open to ideas right now because there's just so much competition for live. But other than that, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys are listening at a later date, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. Feel free to give us a rating, hit that like button, anything. And without further ado, let's hop into the real stuff.
Yeah.
Jonesboro.
Yeah. So, first off, what did you think about the event in a whole sense? Okay. No players, no nothing, like just the course, the way that it played. What do you think about the event?
Um, I really liked it. One of the things I felt myself kind of thinking throughout the event was I don't know if it was because it was just 3 rounds or if it was just what was happening throughout the event overall, but it felt like a Silver Series that had extra coverage, with the
Right.
exception of the final round in MPO. And I don't know. My kind of thought process was like, this is an Elite Series. I really wish it was 4 days. It feels like like a Silver Series right now, especially from like Friday to Saturday. It really felt like a Silver Series. I'm not sure how it was out on the course. A lot of people really love Jonesboro. A lot of people were commenting on what they were doing at the course and some of the things that were really helpful or awesome. One of the things being like the distance stakes. I thought that was
Right.
beautiful. A really great addition to the course out there, and something that I really hope that we start seeing very consistently across all courses. It was something that we saw at Champions Cup as well. Although it wasn't quite as sophisticated as like the marker posts, they were doing like
Right.
yellow tapes and red tapes and stuff to help signify distance. But I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a really nice touch and the kind of thing that I think helps really boost these types of events in terms of their class. But that was
Uh,
kind of my overall thought process.
so, I mean, w- you said it kind of felt like a Silver Series to you. But it shouldn't be because of the 3 days, though, right? I mean, because Waco and Texas States, I mean,
I
Vegas,
think
they're all
I
three
think it
day.
it is. Well, Vegas is 4 days.
Was Vegas 4 days? Oh,
Vegas is
yeah,
four
that's
days
right, because it plays three
because you
courses
play, yeah, 3 courses and one of the courses
twice.
twice.
Yeah, you're right.
Um, and Waco, I think it's still so early in the season that it doesn't get kind of washed out a little bit, but I think maybe it might also have just been the fact that it was followed up or it was following a major and a
That's
major
what
that was
I'm thinking.
really exciting to watch.
Yeah.
But I do think that the 3 days is it was something that I kind of wanted to talk about tonight is should Elite Series events be held to a 4 day standard? Because I mean, even majors we see, especially lately, have started to kind of be elevated to up to 5 days. With Worlds being a prime example of that, and it just kind of made me think: should Elite Series be consistently 4 days long?
And see, that's actually something that I had considered talking about as well. Is like, if, say, for instance, the three majors that are not worlds, this is what could set worlds apart, okay? have Worlds as a 6-day tournament, have the other three majors as a 5-day tournament, have Elite Series as 4-day tournament, and have Silver Series as 3-day. Um, you could even probably knock Silver Series down to 2-day. Um,
Yeah, or maybe instead of knocking Silver Series all the way down to 2 days, maybe like a lot of these tournaments that we see people go to just in the interim, like Throw Down the Mountain is only 2 days. Maybe we can
right.
start elevating those up to like a bronze
Yeah.
event or something like that.
Right.
They're just
And
those
yeah.
events that maybe bronze is a really good tester to like get into the pro tour, but just don't have what they need to be a silver
Right.
series yet. Which of course the silver series is the testing stage to become elite series as well.
Something that would give
Um,
you points, but and maybe a stage to show yourself, but maybe not,
right.
enough uh to get you into the DGPT
Yeah.
championships. Um,
Yeah, because I feel like a bronze series, if they ever did something like that, a bronze series event is just really for events that are looking to try to, try their hand at being a pro tour event someday,
right.
but need a stage to kind of get there first. And it would definitely end up being an event that's obviously not going to get, DGN coverage or anything like that. But
Right. I mean, but that would be a good avenue for new film companies, new players, new, anything. So I think
right,
eventually we're just gonna have this continuancy of uh, kind of like steps to go through to get to the stage that is
right.
the Pro Tour. So
Yeah, and I feel like a bronze series type event could be a great place for players who are trying to work their way into status
yeah,
of making elite series events, because we know that the way that they're working elite series more often than not now is the registration process is very tight, and the earn-in spots are starting to become filled up much more easily, and so on and so forth, and it would just be another way to kind of earn in as a newer player. You know what I
right.
mean?
I get that for sure. So I guess we'll go ahead and hop into it a little bit. Gonna start with MPO. Uh, the wow. That is, I mean, what do you say? You know, first two rounds were fun to watch, but that third round was like holding on to the edge of your seat. Great,
Electric.
great disc golf was being played. Great momentum was being shifted. Great, it was just like it was like watching an elite sport. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it gave you that. I don't know who I'm rooting for, but someone. It's like it's got to happen.
Yeah.
Your favorite team is coming up the ranks, or
Yeah.
it was wild.
I mean, I messaged you obviously at one point in time where I basically said, look, I don't know if I can watch these last few holes, man. I want all three of these guys to win for different reasons.
Right,
Now, we've been quietly Team Vinny for a long time,
we have.
especially on the podcast. You guys have heard us talk about how much we really want, Calvin to turn a corner and be the player that he is capable of being. And so, obviously, being Team Vinny so many times this season, he's been so close so many times. That was 100% who I wanted to win the most. But Kevin Jones, first sighting this year, really, really
Other than
awesome. And
Vegas, right?
and even Vegas, like he was quietly down there
Yeah,
in,
he wasn't in
just off the
contention
podium.
really, right?
Exactly.
Whereas this was his tournament to lose at one point.
It
Um,
was.
yeah,
Now, one of the things I'll point out is being an Elite Series event and the competition level that's out there. We kind of have seen it on multiple occasions now this year where this is the first time we've seen this player really, play well. And I've been saying it as, oh, this is our first player sighting of so and so sighting.
right.
And it always feels like the first time that we have a sighting of a player, they come up just short. But they are fighting for the victory the very next tournament. And
Yep.
that almost makes me feel, because I mean, we said it we had our first Ricky sighting, and then he came out and he won his very next event. Missy Gannon, we said, this is our first Missy Gannon, sighting of the year. And she came out, she won her very next event. This is our first Kevin Jones sighting.
Yep.
And just based on that alone, I feel like you guys need to watch out for him in Emporia. We'll get to
I
that later,
Yep.
but I just want to say there's been a track record on this podcast of having a sighting of a player and then coming up really hot the next tournament.
Right. Um I guess I need to go ahead and tell everyone the leaderboard. So you had Calvin Heimberg taking it down in a playoff at 26 down, went into the playoff against Paul Macbeth. Ended up taking down the win. They was going to play 1, 3, 7, 8, something like that. It did not matter.
They never got past one.
It never got past one. The irony to this story, to this playoff, is earlier on in this very same round, hole 1, beginning of the round. What happens? Calvin goes into the trees on the left. Shanks it. All right. Well, Paul parks it. There you go. There's your swing. All right. Everybody's talking about the playoff. Oh no, this is hole 1. Oh no. Oh no. You seen what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. Nope.
Psych.
Yep. And then Paul Macbeth gets up there. He has either the advantage or disadvantage of going first. And he ends up going into the trees. Calvin parks it, basically takes his win gracefully. However, Paul Macbeth did note in a post on Instagram, I don't know if you've seen this or not, you did,
Sure have.
about the T-pad scrunching up at the end.
Yeah.
Which I understand, and you can definitely tell that did happen. That wasn't just an excuse. But I don't necessarily love it. I know he's wanting to get his side of the story out, but at the same time, the same thing could have happened to Calvin on hole 1 earlier in the round, and nobody's gonna know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
I feel like, with that being said, yes, the T-pads should not do that. Okay?
No.
They shouldn't. But
And
everybody's playing on the same one, and it's a possibility that it could happen to anyone. It does suck that it happened to him at that moment, but all's fair in love and disc golf. So,
oh yeah. I'm gonna save my piece for that later because we'll go over that
okay.
a little bit and a couple other things relating to the course and how it plays and
Right.
so on and so forth. Because that's gonna be my Daniel's drama this week.
Yep.
That's it. But
There's
I
your
want to save
teaser.
it for later, mostly because I want to make sure that we do not take anything away from Calvin Heimberg in this victory because it was 100%
Absolutely.
earned, regardless of that shot. He earned this victory.
Yes. And
And
we had Kevin Jones. Absolutely awesome performance the whole tournament. Coming in third.
yep,
Hole 18 kind of sums it up. As far as losing the tournament. Hole
yep.
16, however, is the one where he did not get aggressive, and he took a par where Calvin gained those 2 strokes for an eagle.
And Paul.
And Paul, right. And then we had a 3-way tie going into 18, and Paul and Calvin did one of the best drives I've ever seen right then. That
on
was
18?
On 18.
Absolutely
that was
one
an
of the most
absolute
clutch.
smash. It went over 500, almost 600, because it was only how far is hole 18? It was like 8 something, and he was at
he put it at the 250 mark, if I
Mhm.
remember correctly. The 250 marker, literally right at it.
So he was pushing 600 feet, a little downhill, yes, but still on a line, accurate distance. It's like
through
we was watching the All Stars event again.
yeah, and it was through a grouping of trees. I
Right.
want you guys to understand that and we've talked about this with Music City Open, but Jonesboro is not as open as it looks. It
No.
is a very open course, and it gives you the freedom to make chancy shots that are in the open. But there is still lines you have to hit, very specific lines, and if you do choose to get aggressive on those types of lines, you
There's
have to
limbs
hit them.
waiting.
You have to hit your lines if you're going to do that.
Yep.
And that is just 100%. Proof is in the pudding on that shot. He hit his exact line. He put it on the right amount of power. He made the best disc selection, and I think I also want to point out that that shot went farther by like 50 feet than either of his first round throws on
Yes.
that hole. Like he made a great decision when he got aggressive there.
Yeah. I think that it was kind of like he could see it. You know how many times he's lost and took second or third in the past year and a half to 2 years?
Too many.
Too many. Exactly.
Too
He's the
many.
best player ever to not win, and I think he was like, it's do or die. You could tell he put everything in that shot,
A
and
100%.
it paid off. It paid off.
Yeah, and he had the luxury of going after Paul and knowing where Paul was and still made, the
Yep.
decision to not throw to where Paul landed essentially, which was approximately where he had landed the first two rounds, and it paid off 100%.
Yep. And it was just a easy little hyzer chip shot right up, uh, right up to the basket. Um, do want to note, uh, Alden Harris was on the card with them. Um, we spoke to Alden a little bit at Music City. Great guy, and we're not done seeing him. He's making some moves this year. He ended up tied for sixth um, with a lot of people: Matteo,
Right.
Simon, Joel, Alden. Yeah, but he had some unfortunate OBs. Other than that, he can play with the best of them. He really can.
He sure can. He has quiet distance, not quite like what we've seen out of Calvin in terms of like this guy's got quiet distance. Nobody talks about his distance, but it's elite level.
Right.
But he has very quiet, good distance.
Yeah.
On top of that, he has. It was actually one of the hardest things to watch in both of the second and third rounds because he was lead card for both of them. His circle one putting is not what it usually is. Because honestly, if you bring his circle one putting up to what we expect it to be, I think that he is up there with Kevin fighting for a chance at the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't have it right in front of me. Let's see if I can pull it up. But 93% circle 1X, but that included a couple of really, really big misses that he shouldn't have. I want to say they were close to that 15 to 20 foot range that Alden does not miss.
Right.
And I think he struggled a little bit from right at circle's edge that got carded as circle two putts that still were within his this is my I don't miss range.
Right. I do know he
Um,
missed a couple of step putts that chained out on the right side.
yes.
That was another thing that had happened was there was a lot of chain outs and spit outs this weekend. But like I said about the
I
T
think
pad,
they use those prodigy baskets
they
out
do.
there at Jonesboro, right?
Yes, and you
I hate
have to put different into them.
I I hate those net chains so much. They give me anxiety just looking at them.
Mhm.
I can't tell you how much I hate those net chains. like,
Yeah.
like if there was don't get me wrong, we all know disc catcher is by far my least favorite basket of all time. But if there was one singular design, like specific design quirk, if you want to call it, of any particular basket that I could honestly point out and say, yeah, that's the worst design of all time, it's those net chains.
Right.
They push so many things out, which You know what? Like they catch very well, especially from inside the circle, I think. But they do punish you when you're putting from outside the circle because you're putting so much on it, so much more on it to get it there.
Right.
And they have a tendency to push in and flick back,
Yep.
and they push you out of the chains. And I just don't like that. But at
Right.
the same time, a lot of baskets have a similar issue with the pole not having enough chainage
Yep.
between. And I understand the design concept. I just don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of those things that you kind of have to adapt your style to, and I don't mind it. I feel like you go in prepared for that. Um, I know there was
Yeah.
a lot of people that were not happy about it. Um, but it is what it is, and wouldn't you know that we seen Chris Dickerson right up there at the top too. Um,
Yeah.
he was kind of quiet this weekend. He got showed on some coverage here and there, but from if you were just watching coverage, you would have not known that Chris was shooting like he was shooting.
No.
Um, I mean,
Well, the last day,
the last
the
day
very last
more,
day,
yes,
only because he got a lot of extra coverage from, a card back.
right,
But outside of that last day, I mean, I kind of said it with Paige too. If you guys follow us on Twitter, you'd have seen me tweet this, but Paige was definitely suffering from a little bit of some champions hangover. He's-
yeah,
yeah, I mean, this is a course that she should definitely have dominated, and she didn't.
right,
And
and that is a thing.
Chris did not suffer nearly as bad, but he had a little bit of champions hangover. I feel like round three was phenomenal,
Yeah,
but he definitely could have played himself into a better position the first 2 days.
yeah, and that goes for a lot of people. But yeah,
Yeah,
so for MPO, congratulations, Calvin. Um, we're so glad that he finally got a win. Now we can rest easy if
I
he gets
don't
second again. You know.
look. I mean, deep down in my heart, I think I'm always going to be a little bit of Team Vinny, but now I can stop being so forward about being Team Vinny because he's got that win. Um, I think the next major that comes around, I'll be hardcore Team Vinny because he definitely deserves a major too.
I
But
agree.
but in terms of Elite Series, I think I can get off the Team Vinny train for the rest of the year.
Yep.
I still want him to win. I want the best for him, but I don't have to push so hard. Like Calvin's the one I want to win.
Right. Exactly. I feel you. Um, and see here. I also want to shout out Simon on round two, shooting that hot round early in the day, and nobody could catch it. 13 under. That
Nobody
was
got
a
it the
great
whole
round,
weekend.
and he had a bogey on hole 18.
Yeah,
It was
it was a pretty tough
14.
luck bogey too.
It
Like,
was. It really was. Him and Paul did the same thing.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, just shout out to Simon. Moving on to FPO. We had Kristin Tatar coming in first at 24 down. Missy Gannon coming in second at 14 down, a 10-stroke difference. And tied for third, we had Ella Hansen and Kat Merch at 12 down. Nothing to say here except Kristin was mad. She was determined.
look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This tournament was the Kristen Tatar show from front to back. It was
Absolutely.
nothing but the Kristen Tatar show. I'm not going to downplay other people's play. There were a lot of players who played great. Ella, I really loved what she did a lot of this tournament. It was really fun to watch her go out there and compete a little more than I think she has.
Mm-hmm.
And then, my dark horse, Holland Handley, put on a really good round, tying for fifth at 11 down, just a stroke off of that podium. Um, and there were a lot of people who played really well, but Kristen, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, just wow. At one point in time, I can't remember what round it was. I think it might have been the first round, but I actually tweeted about her. I was like, if looks could kill, her entire card would be dead today. I don't think she
Yeah.
smiled until the 18th hole. And I want to say that was day one. I mean, her entire card would have been dead if looks could kill. She was
Yeah.
determined.
And that's a scary Kristen. Like, all right. Does she get a little taste of this, knowing that she was that determined, and that fuels her? Because it obviously fueled this. I mean, there's no guessing this.
No, I
I
think, listen,
Does she carry this forward?
if she keeps this energy the rest of the year, I'd be willing to say that she takes down 50% of the remaining events.
Including
If she
worlds.
keeps if she keeps this, and I don't think she will, because there's going to be a little bit of a euphoria coming off your wins, and
Right.
that euphoria is going to cloud that type of determination a little bit.
Right.
But let's say, for the sake of the conversation, she did keep this level of determination all the way through the rest of the season. I'd be willing to put money on her winning 50% of the rest of the events,
Yep.
just based on that determination level. It was that
Absolutely.
potent.
Yeah. I mean, 10 strokes, man, and she never let up. Like, she had a 10-stroke
Nope.
lead, and she still birdied three of the last four holes to win the tournament. Like, she just
Yep.
foot on throat, did not care. Like, I'm going all in, proving that I
Yeah.
can do this, proving I can finish. I think that was a big deal, a big part of it.
Listen, what's the best recipe for success?
Determination.
Shooting the hot rounds.
Oh, well,
Shooting the
yeah,
hot rounds puts you in a position to win. And you know what she did?
shot it every day.
She Every single day.
I
The
mean,
only one who came close was day 3, Paige Pierce. She was out of the conversation at this point in time. She was one down through
yeah,
2 days. Tied her at 8 down for the hot round. But
yeah,
I mean, you can't lose. It's literally the recipe for success. You shoot the hot round 3 days in a row, you're gonna win.
yeah. I mean, that's
That's numbers.
yeah, that's point blank period, easy peasy stats right there. But I
Numbers are easy when you look at them like that.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Let's see here. However, this did qualify Ella Hansen and Kat Merch for USDGC, or well, not USDGC, but Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship. So they did get their qualifications done.
I honestly can't believe it took Cat Merch this long. The way
Me
she's been playing,
too.
that I'm surprised that she was a qualifier because of this event.
Yeah. Cat
I
Merch
thought that was a little weird.
is she's coming into becoming a really, really good player. Um, that's in contention, and
Yeah,
her her play and her style and her wittiness is going to carry her brand very well.
yeah,
She
yeah. It's just
Did you see
it's fun to
the
watch.
live coverage where I think it was round 1 and she was on lead card and they were over there looking at the mosquitoes and she like slipped up, she's like, F it, I guess.
Yeah.
you know and I was like, oops, well, bet she didn't mean to say that. And who was it? Terry. Yeah, Terry was like, huh, don't worry, Cat, we're always watching. Always watching.
I'm watching Cat Merch. Always watching.
Exactly. You couldn't have spot on, Terry Miller. Spot on. Speak again.
Well
Um
played.
but yeah. No, I thought that was funny. Um but yeah, I mean there's not a whole lot to talk about on FPO other than utter dominance. So there you have it.
It was.
What
That was
it
that
was
was it.
impressive.
Yeah. So, anyways, in recap of our recap,
Yes,
congratulations, Calvin. Congratulations, Kristin. Honestly, great wins from both of you. Did it in totally different ways, and both of them were fun to watch.
absolutely, absolutely. I enjoy
Well,
the coverage.
yeah, yeah. Before we get away from Jonesboro, and speaking of coverage,
Here we go.
Twitter, Twitter, Twitter. I had put out a tweet at one point in time, and I'm gonna pull it up. I just got to read it, just because it was it was interesting, and this will also segue a little bit later into our Daniels drama as well. Um, but I tweeted that sometimes the Miller Doss commentary just bothers me, and this happened after hole six when I tweeted this originally. And it actually kind of continued from there. Some of the stuff that they were saying, it was a little outlandish, but uh, they made a comment after the bad tee shot on six by Macbeth where they just said, "Wow, Macbeth is just unraveling right here. It's hard to watch, man." Like, guys, I, he threw a great shot on five that had a bad reaction, and he's thrown one bad tee shot. And by the way, he was inches from making the throw in from the drop zone on five, and then he made his putt like nobody's business, and he made one bad tee shot, and wow, he's unraveling, guys. He made a bad throw. What?
Yeah.
What are we talking about here, guys? I don't like. And they started talking about stuff like, "Wow, I've never seen Macbeth play in this mindset." I'm like, I have every single week, literally every single week. Macbeth, like, he plays angry. That's kind of very Macbethish. A bad throw gets a reaction out of Macbeth every
Yeah.
single time, every time. Like, I,
Yeah, I don't yeah, I was confused by the commentary. Um I don't really get it. I don't
the
understand.
the other one that really got me, like, in particular of all the comments they made, was on 18. Um, when Macbeth made his approach to the green, that hyzer he threw into the green on 18, they said, "I think this is the best shot he's thrown all day. This is the most whatever shot." And I can't remember the word he used. And they said, "I think this even overtakes the shot on 16." And I'm like,
Yeah,
he threw a stock spike hyzer into, yes, it's an OB guarded green. I get that, but he threw a stock spike hyzer, and you're
through
gonna
it.
tell me that that was a more impressive shot than 16 sitting on a knee, straddled knee out, forehand across the water for an eagle,
Through a gap
up
that was literally thinner than a putter pouch.
a pinhole sized gap, my guy. I mean, even the guy on the ground, Nate Perkins, was like, "I
He
there's
said
no
there.
there's nothing there."
He said he even walked back. Remember, he was like, just to
Yeah,
clarify. He said there is nothing. He's like, I'm not lying. There's nothing there. I
yeah.
don't know. It's just Macbeth
But
things.
before Macbeth even made that throw, Nate Perkins was like, he might even have trouble just pitching out to get across from here.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me a stock spike geyser into the green was a more impressive shot than that? I mean,
Yeah.
that was the most ridiculous shot I have seen possibly all year on tour.
That was wild. It was
It
kind of
was
like his.
absolutely
It was kind of
wild,
like his shot on hole 17 at Waco. Like he just finds these wild lines and makes it happen.
right? I don't know how he does it,
I don't either.
but
He
um,
spent too much time with Simon.
yeah, he's spent a lot of time. Now, look, you guys blew this tweet up. Um, there were a lot of people just kind of going in there and saying that it was painfully bad commentary. Um, a lot of people were kind of picking on them for a lot of the other stuff. And somebody was like, "Well, you got to create the drama." And I'm like, "We don't need to tell blatant lies to create drama, right?"
Right.
70 of you guys agreed with that enough to like it, and it was enough that I was like, "Well, we got to talk about it a little bit." Now, I want to say Doss and Miller are gems in the disc golf community. I appreciate everything that they do for disc golf in every way, shape, and form. But the commentary's got to get better on DGN.
Yes.
It's got to
We're not gonna
on some
grow.
level.
We're not gonna grow because the commentators. All right, so they come for the disc golf. They stay because of the commentators. And if they
Right.
don't like the commentators, they will either mute them or leave. Like
Yeah.
nobody wants to hear bad commentating. It's fact. Um that's the reason that these commentators in the NFL, they get millions and millions of dollars because they know what they're doing and they can
Yep.
provide a story without telling anything fluky. And if they do tell something fluky, they can spin it their way.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
y-
And more to that point, even we had somebody who commented. They basically said it's time for the Disc Golf Pro Tour to hire professional commentary and keep people like Philo and Nate and Doss and those kind of people, keep them for the color commentary and so on and so forth. Now, here's the thing. I agree with that to an extent, but I also want to point out, and I think anybody who's watched professional sports can agree with me on this. There is nothing I loathe more than listening to people who don't know what they're talking about commentate on sports. And
yes.
it happens in football, it happens in baseball, it happens in basketball all the time. And it's my least favorite thing in the world. like, so
However, there is probably someone in college going there or commentating that plays disc golf, right?
yeah,
They don't have to be a brilliant mind at disc golf. They need to know how to commentate and they need to know the game. They don't, you know
yes,
what I mean? It's just don't throw somebody in there that's never watched any of the players. They don't know any of the players. They don't know any of the plastic. They don't know any of the discs. Like that will not work.
right.
Um, but look at it like Brian Earhart. All right, I know I'm gonna keep bringing him up over and over because it
It was it was a thing of beauty.
it was the best commentating that we've ever witnessed. And
I could not agree
yeah,
more. I mean, if there were anybody that's currently in the DGN lineup that I had to say, get those guys and have them do as many events as possible, it was the Charlie Bryan combo.
yes, it was great. Both of them did amazing. Um, also, some of the commentators that do some of the post produced um, are very good at commentating. Um,
Right.
I know Mitch from Gatekeeper. He also runs Parked Podcast, and he is a great commentator. I don't know if you got to listen to any of his work, but
A few times, yes.
he is with Nathan Queen on Gatekeeper, and Nathan
Hmm.
Queen is very subtle. You know, he's not the most electrifying person to listen to. It's very calm,
No,
soothing, but Mitch can tie anyone together. So you need people like Mitch or Brian, somebody that can mold the story to their
yeah,
color commentator. Eh, that way they can kind of run with it, flow with it, and
right.
that's important. Whereas Terry and Nate, it's literally like throwing two bricks at a wall, and I it's sounds about like it too. That was the meanest thing
Yeah.
I think I've ever said. I'm sorry. Um,
I
so
yeah, I had to step back there a little bit and think about what you just said because wow, that
uh,
might be the meanest thing I think I've ever heard you say.
I feel very strongly that I don't think that Nate Doss deserves a spot in the commentating booth. Terry Miller does great on ground. Okay, I think that's where he belongs. He does a good
And
job there. He's he knows the players well enough that he's not afraid to ask those questions, and I don't think that they would be mad at him. So that's a good spot for him.
I think that Terry could do a better job in the booth with a better color pairing as well.
I think so too. Like, for instance, when I see Terry and Nate Sexton, it's not that bad, and then they sprinkle Doss in, and it's bad. So I like Nate Doss as a player, and
Yes.
I would love to take a trip to Bevel Brewing. I just don't like watching his commentating.
Yeah, one of the things that we've kind of talked about more than once is like Nate Doss just always feels salty
Yeah,
when he's in like he's I don't know if he's just angry about it or like one of the best examples I can give was that ridiculous Alden Harris step putt on Sunday.
yeah,
And Nate Doss, and I don't know, I don't think he was trying to come off this way, but he sounded so sarcastic when he was saying how great of a putt it was. I can't get it out of my head the way he's like, "Oh my god. Alden Harris. Great. Circle 2 step putt."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't tell if he's just really bad at sounding excited about this or if he's intentionally being sarcastic
Yeah.
because it sounded sarcastic.
Yeah. I don't like
And it
that.
was like, and I couldn't tell if it was like, if it was sarcasm, is it sarcasm because it's like it's not Kevin Jones, Paul Macbeth, or Calvin hitting that putt? Is that why it was sarcastic? Or was it purely just he couldn't express the emotion he was trying to at that time?
Right. That's one of the highlights that Philo has actually. Um so Philo, yeah, he can be sarcastic and funny, but he does it in such a good way. You
Right.
you can just tell that he's so much more high spirited. Uh
Yes.
it's just a lot of times even Ian um will say something like, I don't know if he's going to be in too good a spot, blah blah blah, and that doesn't look like he
Yeah.
hit his line. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Now, Ian, this is okay. He's like, not everybody's perfect, and the shots aren't either. But guess what? He's gonna have a look here. That I've been here, like that
Yeah.
kind of color commentator is
Right.
amazing. Whereas somebody that's like, yeah, yeah, can you imagine having to throw that line? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's not good.
No. But again, I mean, I don't want to take away anything from Nate Doss and what he's done for disc golf. And he's a great guy, and he's done a lot for disc golf. He's done a lot in disc golf, and we really appreciate it. It's just a lot of you seem to agree with that comment, and I wanted to talk about it. So,
I agree with it.
agree with it.
Yep.
Uh, Speaking of the commentary that occurred during the rollaway, the nasty rollaway, from Paul Macbeth. If you guys didn't catch it, he basically threw an immaculate tee shot, skipped up into those new plastic buckets that they're using for ad revenue, essentially, which is fine. I don't have a problem with them gaining ad revenue and doing that, but the koozies cause some weird rollaways from time to time, but nothing like what we've seen this year with these trash cans. And then on top of that, we had another situation with a tee pad that was not up to standard on Paul's shot. I'm not saying that he would have won if he had gotten his best shot off there. I'm not saying that. I do think that the whiny look that Paul's kind of had in terms of talking about why he didn't win a few times this year does not come off well. I'm not going to defend that, but I am going to defend the fact that it's time for standardized tee pads and by extension standardized baskets. And please, for the love of God, these trash cans, for the lack of a better term, under the baskets need to go. They need to go. They are so bad. They're like putting a spring under the basket. I mean, discs hit these at slow speeds and kick up and roll away.
Right.
I don't get it. I don't understand the decision to have them there. The koozies were not the best by any means in terms of what's going to play the best, but they were so much better than this, and they looked better, and they advertised just as well, in my opinion.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You know, one thing which they may incorporate something that's built in on this, but the Disc Golf Pro Tour baskets that they are working on, um, that I mean they're doing that. They're going to standardize all baskets. So
And I agree with that, but I think T-pads should come first. I just want to put it out there.
they probably
I
should, but they won't. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, they're doing what they have control over because they are using someone else's venue. They can go out there with the baskets. They can't go out there with the tee pads unless you done platforms. It,
Yeah.
that's the only way, and that would be hard to do in a wooded course.
I agree and I disagree with that to a point because two things. Number one, on most or all of these courses that we are seeing, they are modifying the location of the tee and the location of the basket. So that already right there makes a big difference. I mean, we're talking about tees in a lot of these places that are not usually there. These turf tees that they're using out at Jonesboro, they are clearly in some way, shape, or form temporary. And a lot of courses do this. When we talk about MPO getting out there, the goal right now, because the fields have gotten so good, is to increase difficulty. That's why we see these changes. Tees are being moved back from their standard locations. And when that happens, these guys are putting temporary tee pads in, as it were. They're not usually dropping new cement right now,
Right.
more often than not. Now, there are some courses who are incorporating cement tee pads, even when they're adding new tee pads for MPO to come through the courses, but it's not as common as bringing in temporary tee pads. So, if we're going to go through the process of bringing temporary tee pads to half of these events, anyways, why not standardize that and have tee pads that the DGPT brings to these events, as it were? We already bring so much to these events on a daily basis as it is. What is one more trailer full of tee pads?
But what would they be?
I don't know. It's something that I can't particularly give a specific answer to right now because that needs to be a decision between PDGA and DGPT
I just
to have a standardized T.
I feel like that's just going to have to eventually become a requirement to be on the Elite Series. I think that they're
But-
going to have to do it for the course. Uh, I
And
don't see them hauling around T pads.
then at the very least, we need to create a standard to which every event has to meet minimum requirements on T pads to have the event.
That's super easy. A sheet of plywood. You know what I mean? 4x8. That is the minimum, bare minimum requirement. There you go. That's where to start. All right. Then you go to the material. You can have two different styles of material. That is legal. Okay. No natural turf or no natural tees, no grass tees. You can have artificial turf on a platform, or you can have concrete. No pavers, no
No,
wood,
nope.
nothing like that. It has to be one of those two. And I feel like the only way that you should do turf is for like the certain environments. Um, if somewhere is super, like if somewhere is a lot more rainy, like Seattle or something like that,
Right.
where you're more than likely going to be playing in the rain, then change it up. Like you can be region specific. Um, but they've got to do something about that, and I think that they've heard enough that they will change it. Um, just who knows when.
Yeah, and that's the thing for me is I feel like we've reached a point now where T pads have become an issue that it needs this a standardization needs to be reached within the next year.
Yeah,
I don't think we can continue with the level of play that we're seeing, having somebody slip on a T pad on a playoff hole. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't, I
It's a
don't,
really bad
I don't.
look.
And, and I mean, more to the point, if you're going to create these temporary T pads that are made out of wood, why aren't we like stapling down this turf to it? Why is the turf loosely held by gravel like it is on that hole on top of that platform when it could have been stapled in and avoided that altogether?
Yeah, I don't
I,
know.
I just I think you know it's sad to see. Again, I'm not taking anything away from Calvin. That's why I chose to have this conversation later in the episode. Is I didn't want to take away from Calvin's win. He 100% earned and deserved that. And having a good tee pad does not guarantee Paul makes a perfect shot there, but it shouldn't have been an effect on his shot there.
Right.
And that is the bigger part of the conversation. Um, and as for those trash cans under the basket, I think that's an easy and quick fix. I really don't think those should continue to be out there. I know they're going to. They're probably going to be there for the rest of this year at the very least. But that's something that needs to be talked about as well because a lot of people came at me on Twitter saying, "Well, Paul just made a bad shot, or that's a condition for everybody out there. They all have to fight that same condition." Yes, I'm not arguing that the result was adjacent to the situation. I'm saying that the situation should not be there at all.
Right.
It is. it's a bad decision, and justifying a bad decision by saying, well, everybody has to play it that way. No, we shouldn't be putting trampolines under the basket that are going to flick discs away. That's unfair to everybody, not just Paul in that one situation, because that's not the first rollaway that we've seen off of these trash cans this year. It's happened time, time, and time again. That just happened to be one of the ones that was on the biggest moments of coverage. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yep. Agree. I think that as far as like advertising goes, you could definitely get away with doing just the pole. All right. Everybody knows what a disc golf basket looks like. They don't have to make it
Yep.
pretty on the bottom. Okay. The trash can, I would much rather see the pole than the trash can. And on the elevated ones,
Yep.
do the boxes, the pyramids.
Yeah, and the
And
even if we shortened up the pyramids and used pyramids only on the talls and the shorts and had a smaller version of the pyramids,
yep,
still better than the trash cans because I don't know what it is, what they're made out of or whatever, but they're for lack of a better term, they're buoyant. They literally fling stuff off of them,
yeah,
like literally fling stuff off of them, and I don't think that this level of play should have that type of a gimmick. Yes, everybody has to fight that same condition. I agree. I'm not saying that Paul didn't deserve what he got for the shot that he made, but I'm saying that at this level of play, there should not be that type of situation to begin with.
right. Agree. All right.
And that's it for the controversial stuff.
Yeah. Now,
That's it for my highly opinionated, you know, Daniel's drama.
there you go.
And if you guys follow us on Twitter and you saw a lot of my comments this week, just know Twitter's my controversy space. That's where
Yeah.
I get to have fun. And if you guys are ever, really serious about something or whatever, I mean, I have my opinions and I voice some of those opinions on Twitter, but I also play devil's advocate on Twitter. So don't trust everything I say on Twitter. A lot of times I'm just trying to get an argument out there
You
and
poked the
see what
bear.
people say. Poke the bear. Yeah, a lot. And most people have been extremely receptive. There's only one person that really just kind of didn't really like have an educated argument on Twitter with us. And but that's okay. That's going to happen. But everybody else was really awesome. I had a lot of fun bantering with each and every one of you that engaged with us on Twitter. So I appreciate it. If I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. I'm not deleting my tweets though. As long as I'm not making a bad name for the brand, I'm gonna rub feathers a little bit on Twitter.
That's perfectly fine with me. Um, we're gonna go ahead and transfer into a little bit of who am I?
Am I?
Um, I will be the MPO this week. You will be the FPO this week,
Yes.
and go for it.
Why don't you go first?
I went first last time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
It's fine. All right. So I placed in the top 20, but not in the top 10.
Okay.
Play for Latitude 64. 80% Circle 1X putt throughout the weekend.
Okay.
80%. 77% fairway hits throughout the weekend.
Okay.
But I was bogey free the last day.
Bogey free the last day and played for Latitude?
Yes.
Ooh, that's gonna be hard. I don't know who went bogey free on the last day. I think there's only two Latitude players in that section, right? I want to say it Lottie and Emerson, or is there one more? I don't know. I don't know.
Not gonna give you anything else.
I don't know.
I have another stat, but it's not gonna help you. So
No.
no, just 50% scramble rate.
Yeah, that wouldn't help me actually at
Not
all.
at all.
Not at all. And you said top 10, so not tied for 10th either, so I can eliminate that.
Yeah,
Possibly tied for 20th?
I mean, yeah. As long as it's between 11 to 20.
Well,
Didn't
I don't
place top 10.
know. I don't know anybody particularly that plays for Latitude that tied for 20th. The only names that come to mind is Emerson and Lottie, and I'm pretty sure both of them bogeyed at least once on the last day. So that means I don't really have a good guess, so I'm just gonna go with Emerson anyways.
That is correct. Emerson Keith, and did not get a bogey on the last day. However,
Yep.
his first round was not good. Yep,
He didn't bogey on the last day?
he did not. Played a lot of par golf.
Are you sure?
Yes. I just looked at it.
Oh. You said he didn't bogey on the last round, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm taking the point either way. It doesn't really matter. But I have him bogeying twice and then a triple bogey too.
Then it was the first round. It was opposite then.
It's fine. I got it anyways.
Was it the first
Not
round?
that big of a deal. It was the first round.
Aha. That's what it is. He didn't bogey the first round, but his third round was not good.
Well, then I'm glad I went with my gut because you tried to throw me a curveball there. But
Yeah,
it's all
you
right.
deserve a curveball every now and then.
I really do. Sometimes, you know what? It's just, you're not wrong. I really do deserve a curveball sometimes. All right.
Speaking of curveball, shout out. 2 followers away on Twitter. Before we give away this stuff. So yeah, if you
Yep.
can't see it, audio listeners, it is a Music City Open dynamic disc. I believe it is an Enforcer. 175
Enforcer
gram
or
Enforcer.
Raider, something like that. Yeah.
And a Music City Open whale sack. So yeah, get on Twitter. That's where the giveaway will be this time.
Yeah. We will post on all the socials when the giveaway starts, but the entry for giveaway will be on Twitter exclusively. So you will have an
Correct.
opportunity, even if you follow us on Instagram, you'll know about it. But you'll have to follow us on Twitter too to be entered. So sorry. But yeah, I fully expect that giveaway to go live this week. I'm pretty sure we'll hit that 100 mark on Twitter this week.
I
Pretty
believe so.
confident.
All right,
Are you
hit me
ready?
with it. No,
Who am I?
I don't know.
I placed in the top 10. I play for Innova. I had 77% fairway hits and 24% birdie percentage. And I'll give you an extra. I did not hit a single circle 2 putt.
Don't know. There's a lot of Innova players. Innova FPO. So
But I placed in the top 10.
Yeah. Still doesn't narrow it down a whole lot. I know Cat hit a couple of circle 2 putts. I see. This is.
I can give you one more hint if you would like.
You can, but
So relating to Innova, I'm going to tell you I don't play for the star team. I play for Team Champion.
Team Champion.
Yes.
Is that that's their mid level?
That's their mid level. That's the same team that Joel Freeman and Anthony Barella are on. I'm not going to tell you the women because
That throws out Haley King. Because she probably went straight on star team. I don't know. It's not Kat and it's not Haley. Kat's not on champion team though. I wouldn't think so. She would be on star team, or She would be on start team, right? Well, I can't ask that. Um,
Yeah, Shane, you did win. You really did. Well done. Dang it.
why do you gotta win?
You're going to be really mad when you hear it, I think.
The last bit that you gave me is the one that's screwing me up because I
Is that
feel
she
like
doesn't play for Star Team?
yes. How many people? How many Innova were in the top 10? The only reason I know Haley's in there is because they said that placed 10th. I think.
Yes.
Okay.
So outside of Haley, there's actually only two.
So it's Cat and somebody.
Cat and somebody. You said it, pal.
Jennifer Allen was on coverage a little bit. I don't think she had a very good third round. Lisa Fakis has been having a lot of problems with her putting, though. It's always Jennifer Allen. It's basically a flip of who made top 10. So,
Yep.
Deanne Carey. Was she up? I'm going to go with Lisa.
You got it. Well guessed.
What did
Jennifer
she.
Allen is on the Star Team, actually.
She
So she
is.
would have been eliminated just based on that. And then Deanne Carey, although she is on the champion team, she placed between 10 and 20.
Okay.
I think she placed tied for 14th or something like that.
That,
Actually,
see,
yeah.
that
So
was.
Deanne tied for 14th with Jennifer Allen, as a matter of fact.
Oh.
Lisa Fakis finished 8 down. She had a really solid 4 down on the
So she
final
tied
day
with
to push
Paige,
her up there.
right? Or no?
No, she's in solo ninth.
Oh, okay.
Paige tied for 7th with Valerie.
But they shot an 8 down.
8 down total.
Okay. Oh, Paige shot 8 down final round. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. I'm very surprised.
Check the comments.
Take the Yes. Very much so.
Same, Shane.
Very
Same.
much so. Um, we both missed last week and we both hit this week on guesses.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Yeah. We're
I didn't
staying
think
tied.
that I didn't think Lisa was going to be that big of a curveball for you, but
It
that was a really good deduction you made. I'm not going to lie. You did well deducing that one and thinking
so
that one out.
Lisa was turbo putting at I don't even remember where it was. Where was that? Waco or no Texas State's.
Texas.
Yeah, she was turbo putting because she couldn't find her putt. So
Yeah. It happens.
it
Happens to
does.
everybody
It does.
eventually. It really does.
Yeah.
Um, all right.
Yep.
Well, that's who we are.
Yep. Dogs are outside going crazy.
Dogs are always, just trying to bother you
Yep.
when you're doing stuff.
They
It's
really
always when you're
are.
busy too.
It is. It always is.
Always when you're busy. Well, do we want to guess some
Yep.
discs?
Let's go ahead and guess some discs.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm gonna start a timer. I will let you go first. You let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
Boom.
At least as close as I can be.
Go for it.
Innova.
Yes.
This happens every time, and it always throws me off. I hate it. Mid range.
No.
Driver.
No.
Putter.
Yes.
Okay. Understable.
No.
Stable.
Yeah.
Uh, is it something that a big name has putted with in the past?
Yes. I mean,
Some Something a
Definitely.
bit,
Yeah.
something a big name putts with currently.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't keep up with
Ooh.
Nineveh too much.
Is it the whale?
No.
Is it the aviar?
No.
Alpaca?
No.
Any type of an aviar? A
No.
subcategory of
No.
aviar?
I would.
Gosh.
Yeah. I would have gave you that if it was like JKKC, whatever.
The dart?
No. A little more
Oh my
stable. A little
gosh.
more stable.
A little more stable.
Oh, on
Okay.
the overstable side, but not like.
Pig?
Yes. You got it when.
Woo!
Did you hear it?
Yeah, I heard
It
it.
was literally like finish
Oh
line.
man, I heard that timer go off, and like I wasn't that excited when you said yes, but then I heard the timer and I was like, yes,
It was so close.
I got it.
It was so close. You did get it though.
That
Yeah.
is
I
nuts.
I, I wanted to say stable because it's not at all understable, but it's not really that overstable either. But
Yeah, they're really
it's more stable
overstable.
than AVRs and I don't know.
Yeah, so they're overstable for putters for sure.
Yes, but
And then they're very overstable out of the box, and then they become more
he's
stable to
stable.
overstable.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
But yeah,
all
you
right,
got it.
I'll take that. All right, and you're guessing one too today.
Yep. Do it to it. I'm ready.
Okay. Uh, Let me get a timer set up for you real quick.
All right. Cool.
Right quick, and you can go ahead and let me know whenever you are ready.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Trilogy.
No.
Innova.
Yes.
Ooh. Driver.
Yes.
Mm. Fairway driver.
No.
Understable.
Stable to understable.
Okay. Uh, high speed.
Yes.
13 feet.
Yes.
Strike.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice. You did that one in under 30 seconds. That was impressive.
Heck yeah.
Well done. Well done. Wow, man, we're on it
We're on
today.
it tonight. I'm okay
What's
with it.
happening?
I don't know. I'm not used to winning this much.
I, it feels good, man.
It feels good.
I gotta say, it feels good.
Team Vinny paid off. That's what it is.
Oh my gosh, Team Vinny. Look, I'm crediting those wins to you, Team
Yep.
Vinny. All four of those between both of us in two different games.
Yeah, we might just
Team Vinny.
change our name, Tennessee Vinny. How about that?
It's Tennessee Vinny. All right.
Kidding.
So, do you have anything else outside of DDO to talk
Nothing.
about? All right. So we're gonna head into DDO.
Yep.
We're
Yep.
gonna play a little game before. It's not really a game. It's just kind of something to talk about, really. Before we head into DDO, we're gonna make this a new segment. It's something for you guys to interact with us on. It's gonna be on Twitter from now on every week. This week it was not particularly associated with DDO, but in the future it's going to be associated with the upcoming week. So I'll kind of go into it real quick, let you know what I did because Ethan knows nothing about this yet.
I
But I
am
posted on
completely in the
Twitter,
dark.
completely in the dark. I posted on Twitter today, and I'm just going to read it off for you. 300 feet, dead straight, 10-foot wide gap in the woods. If you land anywhere but the fairway or in circle one, it is jail. What are you throwing?
All right.
And
So
this is a tunnel, not a 10-foot gap. It is a tunnel all the way down 10 feet wide.
okay. How high is the ceiling?
I would say moderate ceiling for the woods. Not high, but not
Okay.
super low either.
So 300 feet,
Definitely
10
definitely
feet
high
wide.
enough. 10 feet wide. Definitely, I would say like ceiling wise, high enough that a decent power arm like you or I think have enough power to get a putter there if we really hit the line. It would be a smash, but we could do it.
Um, Essence,
Essence.
without a doubt.
All right. I could dig that.
I
Uh,
basically done it today. So,
nice.
yep, it's 362 feet. Piped it through a 12-foot gap all the way down, 21 feet from the basket,
Nice.
and missed
Was that
my putt.
no. Was that slightly downhill or no?
No,
No. That's
no,
360
dead straight.
360 feet. So 340 feet since you
Yeah, it
came up,
was.
let's say
Yeah,
20 feet through a tunnel, like
yep.
a tunnel like that dead straight, that is not easy to do, man. I mean,
No, and it was
to
on
keep
hole
any
one,
disc.
the very first throw.
I mean,
But you
to
know,
do
it is what
that,
it is.
to keep it straight all the way down, that is muy impressive.
Yes, and then
Um,
missing the putt was like, let's go. This is the way to start this off right. You know.
yeah. So I'm gonna pick up my, three or four favorite of what we got a response on. We got almost 20 responses on this of people telling us what they would throw. Super awesome. Really appreciated all the interaction. Um, so my first favorite one is a let's see, what did he say? He went with a DGA Squall,
Okay.
and I really liked that. I think a DGA Squall is somewhere around 6.5,
Yes.
-1.1, something like
It's
that.
very similar to a cax, slightly less stable than a cax. But I've threw
Yeah,
the squall, great disc.
yeah.
I threw
So,
the squall in the sparkle plastic. It was
mm,
it was great. It was just a
really nice.
little bit firm for my liking, like as far as forehands go. But
Right.
now that I backhand a lot, I should probably think about looking at the squall again.
Looking at another one. Yeah, I could dig it. It's a little bit wider rimmed, kind of like the Cax, even
Like
though it's a
it's
mid
more like the
range.
trident, to be honest. Um,
Yeah, so
it's
it's a
like
little
the
bit.
trident's alter ego.
Yeah, well, I meant like in terms of the rim style. It's a lot like the Cax, where it's a little bit more. It's a mid range,
Yeah,
but it's a little bit wider rimmed. It's like a hybrid between your normal mid
yeah.
range rim and like a fairway driver
That's where
rim.
I live. I love the
And
hybrid styles.
I know how much you like that. Now, I actually don't like those rims very
Mm-hmm.
much. I don't throw them very well. I might want to try going back to them maybe a little bit later this year and try them again because I've changed some things in my throwing style this year, but I don't really like them that much. But the number flight wise actually matched up very similar to what I would throw, which I was thinking of throwing a buzz. Um, I could probably get a putter there if I really wanted to, but it would be a little bit of a smash.
Right.
But a buzz, particularly a decently beat in buzz. Not so much that it's understable yet, but enough to where the fade is a little less than it was when you get it out of the box. Because I can hyzer flip that to push straight a long ways. It's actually one of my favorite things to push straight, about 250 to 300 feet, depending on the power I give it.
Yep.
So the DGA Squall, that spoke to me because it was very similar flight wise to what I would throw. Um, One of the other answers that I had that I really thought was a very interesting and cool one is Drew. Let's Drew it up. He commented a VIP Tursus, which is a West Side disc.
Yep. I know that disc.
Understable.
It's a super understable disc.
And so he would forehand that through there. And I thought that was really interesting. And I
What
was
does he
so
do?
like,
Super hyzer flip or what?
he said basically like he flips it up to flat and it pushes straight for him really well, and I thought that was interesting. I even replied back to him. I was like, wow, I would have thought that Thursus was fairly understable on a forehand because most of the time understable stuff is not as torque resistant, so it's a lot
Yeah.
harder to get them to push just straight. And he's like, the way that I flick it, it just flies really straight out of the hand. It's one of my favorite things to throw straight. And I was like, I love that.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Find what works for
uh
you.
I had Phil comment back. He's like, I'm laying up with a putter. I was like, respect, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. Like I'll lay up in tournaments, but not off the tee. You
Yeah.
know, off the tee, it's like I'm gonna hit this gap or I'm not. That's it. That's all there is.
That's all there
But
is.
in a practice round, I promise you, there's no such thing. So respect, Phil. Respect. And then my other favorite one that I had going for me was we had two or three people comment this, so I'm not going to call out anybody in particular, but one person went right to jail right away, and it was a GIF. That was
Right.
right to jail.
It's like,
And
nope,
then
just not even trying.
I had another one that was like, let's see, I have to find it now. Where did it go? Where did it go? It's somewhere. Oh, down here. He's like, I'm going directly to jail, and I was like, do not pass go. Do
You
not
gotta
collect two
collect
hundred
$200.
dollars. And then I had one more person, another person who was like, a quick party before I go to jail. So I commented back. I was like, did we at least secure Pennsylvania Railroad before you went to jail? And he
Right.
said, yes.
All
Yes, we did.
right. We're making money moves then.
There we go. So if you guys got my Monopoly references there, kudos on you. I thought they were funny.
We're
Some
at
people probably didn't.
99 followers on Twitter now.
Woo! So close. We're almost there,
Yes.
guys. We are almost there. I am digging that.
Uno ole.
Um, so after that got such a good response, I commented back. I quote tweeted it and said, "This has had such a good response. How would you guys feel about doing this every single week?" Um, and we'll always pick our 3 or 4 of our favorites on that and just kind of call those out. We'll shout out your Twitter handle if you want us to. And my thought process was we had a game at the very beginning where we thought, what if we did like an in the bag
Yeah,
of, the tournament that's coming up? And I thought this would be a little bit of an easier way for us to like
definitely.
find one hole on the upcoming tournament. So I'm sorry we didn't do it this way. I thought about it after posting this. So it's not going to be for DDO this week, but going forward from now on, I'm going to find one hole on the upcoming tournament and I'm going to post a picture of it and a small description, ask you guys what you would throw. We will save our picks for what we will throw, tell the show, and then call a couple of you guys out. It'll be a little bit quicker probably than this particular segment was because I'm explaining the new segment to you guys. But I thought that would be a little bit of fun. What do you think?
I'm with it.
You like it?
I like it. It
I
doesn't
like
even
it
have
too.
to be for previewing the next tournament. If you just want to come up with scenarios, like I'm fine with that because
I,
the 300-foot
I,
straight, 10-foot gap, moderate ceiling. What are you throwing? You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's fine. Um, it would be cool if we had like I may do that. I may just start doing that. Taking pictures of holes in general
right.
and sending them to you and letting you post them
Yeah,
and
and
just be like,
I have
"What do you
some.
throw?"
I'll have some courses. Just make sure if you do that, send me a small description. Like this is
Yeah,
300 feet, slight dog leg to the left, or whatever it might be.
yeah,
But I just thought it would be a cool way to kind of, incorporate the next tournament because we don't, say too much about the next tournament. And of course, we're going to have weeks where we don't have a next tournament coming up, which I think next week is one of them actually. And then on top of that, we'll have all off season to come up with those scenarios. So we'll probably mix them in and out and do that kind of stuff. And I think it'll be a good time. So thank you guys so much for the interaction you guys gave me on that post. That was a lot of fun for me to read what you guys would throw and read them out here.
yep.
It was fun. Chat
It
saying,
was
"Okay, I like it." Picasso,
like it, Picasso. Very nice. Very
very
nice.
nice. So with that, let's do a quick preview of the DDO.
The Dynamic Disc Open, presented by Dynamic Discs, formerly known as the Glass Blown Open. Discord cut every single bit of your scream out.
Every little bit of it.
Every
I just
single
went on a
one.
really really long extended woo. So
Yeah.
don't.
Well,
It wasn't anything
we
crazy.
heard the what? Yeah. That's all we heard.
Woo.
Yep, it's
Nope.
gone.
It was
Nope,
just
nothing. Yep. There's a
it just
W
says
there.
no.
No.
Uh,
No.
so first, before we go into this, I just have to say, first thought process while I'm looking at this, extremely weird that Calvin Heimberg is on the first card out.
I thought that too. I was like, what? And
That's a head scratcher for me.
I
Why is he on
no,
the
you
940
so
card, bro?
this is a dynamic disc event, correct? All right.
Yeah,
Um why is Chris Clemens and Zach Melton your
I don't.
your number 3 and number 4 guy on the first card? And
I
that
don't get
felt
it.
weird to say, and that is no shade towards them, but I do believe that Ricky and Mason are above them.
Yeah.
Um,
But and you look at that and you see it on the flip side. I want to point out that you have Macy and Valerie on lead card in FPO.
yeah.
So why like what's going on? Listen, I know some people might not consider like Zach or Chris to be premier players, but they're still DD. And our lead card for this event
Oh,
is Simon, Matteo, Paul, and Gavin Rathbun.
it's Gavin's. It's Gavin's return.
No, okay. Well, they're gonna
That
give it to
makes
him.
Sense.
I don't know. I still don't get it.
Well,
But I
Gavin
especially don't
Gavin
get not
has been
having Vinny
there
on there.
at DD for
Yeah,
4 months now. So
yeah.
he might do very well. Uh that would be a very easy dark horse pick. Uh yeah.
Yeah,
Gavin,
I definitely
yeah.
wouldn't disagree
I'm
with that.
excited to see that. And Simon on there. We're gonna have some bombs. Heck yeah. And
Yeah,
shout
don't
out
get
to
me wrong. I'm
Gavin Badcock making the chase card, the second card right there. With
yeah,
Ricky,
yeah.
Chris,
I thought
and
that was
Mason.
another funny one.
So
Yeah.
shoot, yeah,
Well,
that's awesome.
still think Vinny should have been on one of those cards.
I agree. It's weird that he's on the very first one out, but I honestly think that it's probably to get people there for FPO. You think more? Um,
Could be.
because they're gonna see FPO lead card and then MPO's last card. So
Yeah, and it's hard to get people out on Thursdays as
it
well.
is.
It's
So
that's no
maybe
question.
it's something like that.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
if I was gonna do it like that, I mean, shoot, I'd go there. Get to watch.
Hot.
You get to watch the lead card FPO and the last card of MPO, which are all great right there in that
Right.
good little window for spectating. Shoot, I'd be all about that. That'd be a great time.
I could dig it. I guess when you look at it from that point of view, that's not a bad thought process. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. Well, for those of you who don't know, DDO is being held in Emporia, Kansas. It is the first of two stops in Emporia this year. Um,
This is a
I
different course
mean,
than what is being played for Worlds, though. This is
yes,
uh Jones Gold, Jones East Gold.
yes.
Whereas the Worlds is Jones East Black. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be completely different. But they
It's
said
actually it's going to
what?
be a little bit different for this event too. Actually, so they're listing it as the Jones Supreme course, which is established in 22. So it's not actually not
Yes.
going to be Jones Gold. I don't know what that change necessarily implies, but it is technically a new layout.
Okay, then I guess we shall see. I mean, that's one of the things that we can't really preview. Um,
No, but we can
we
preview
shall see
one
it.
thing: wind.
It's gonna be windy.
There's wind.
Who's the
That's
best
what we
player
know.
in the wind?
Who knows their discs in the wind, and those players are going to reign supreme.
Yep, get it.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, whoever can control their discs in the wind the best will
Right.
probably do well. Ricky usually does pretty well with in the wind, to be honest.
Yes. Yeah. I was very surprised at Ricky's overall performance in Jonesboro.
He got frustrated with some of those spit outs and it took to social
Never.
media and it kind of ranted about it a little bit and just kind of never fought out of it.
Yeah.
It just affected him.
Well,
It
there
happens.
you have it.
Yeah.
But anyways, going into the rest of this preview, well, what do we want to talk about first?
I mean, there's not a whole lot. So whatever you want to
FPO
hit.
predictions.
Yeah, we can do FPO predictions. So my FPO prediction is that uh go over here to FPO. There we go. All right. So I say that I'm gonna go with Katrina Allen taking third, Kona Panis taking second, and Kristen Tatar taking first. Um, with my dark horse, Paige Shue. Because when I started, I was uh, I was throwing Latitude strictly for the fact that I was a Paige Bierkis fan,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
she won Worlds that year, and I just kind of jumped on the bandwagon to be honest with you. And she was sponsored by Dynamic, but she was throwing those Ballista Pros everywhere, and
Okay.
yeah, and I was just a huge
Okay.
fan. Yeah, Ballista Pros and
Yeah,
Pures, and that's what I
mm,
started putting with Pures and forehand and Ballista Pros like crazy. So
that's what it was.
yeah, I hope
Uh,
she does good this week.
I really feel like this one's gonna come back to bite me, but I'm gonna go with Macy to win.
Okay.
She's due, man. I feel like, and I don't know that she's necessarily due for a win, but she's due for a solid performance at the very least. Um, and out there in Kansas, a good performance a lot of times is good enough to win because of that wind. It's just so brutal, especially once you get to those putting greens because the putting greens out there are just not particularly well protected. You know what I mean? There's going
Yeah.
to be a lot of flow going out there, so I think she's due. This last week was probably the first time we've really seen Macy putt well this year. She was very solid inside the circle in a couple of rounds, which is something we just really haven't seen. Her fairways, not great, but if she can get both of those working at the same time, really good chance to win. Um, I'm gonna go with Ella Hansen as another top three pick for me, and Kristen Natar as well. Um, I really hope she doesn't go out there and have a little bit of champions hangover, especially how much emotion she had going into that last event. Um, I think it's very possible she's going to be emotionally taxed at this event, but it's hard not to bet on her to be in the top three considering her performance this year.
Right.
Even if she doesn't win, she's going to be there.
Yep.
Uh, and in terms of a dark horse pick, mm, I kind of had a dark horse and then I lost it. Where did it go? Where did it go? I'm gonna go with I don't know. It's just, this field is very difficult dark horse wise because I think Ella Hansen would be like a better dark horse pick, but I really think that she's actually gonna hit that top three. So I don't feel super dark horse ish about it. All right, I'm gonna go out on a limb and go with Casey Pennington.
Okay.
I've liked what we've seen out of her this year. Um, there's obviously always a chance that she goes out there and just absolutely bombs, but keep an eye on her. She's done some good things this year, and I think she's putting a good game together.
There you go. There's your FPO predictions. All right. Go ahead and go into your MPO.
MPO predictions. La prediction. Um, winning this event. I mean, is it too storybook ending for Ricky Wysocki to win his first DDO with Dynamic?
Yeah. No. I mean, I'm picking him too. So
Yeah, I just have a feeling.
yeah.
I mean, how cool and how cool would it be just in general?
Too good a
I don't know.
story.
Too good. Um, I'm gonna go with as well in the podium area. I'm gonna go with Corey Ellis. Um, I've really liked one of the things we talked about when we started, or when we talked about our 2021 awards was
Mm-hmm.
giving Corey Ellis a putting award for being the best putter of the year. And one of the things we talked about was knocking him a little bit on his fairway work.
Right.
Well, he has shown up this year with his fairway work. If anything, it's his putting that's a little bit behind, but he is still such a deadly putter. And his putting style, I think, is going to mesh very well out there in the wind. So if he can stay on the fairways, I think he's got a good chance to get up there in the top three.
Yeah.
And then rounding it out, I think Calvin Heimberg is going to round it out for me.
All right.
Low line drives play well in the wind.
They
That's
do.
just that's just how that is. And he has a very good nose down putt, which also plays well in the wind. Dark horse to podium, Brody Smith.
This could be a very good course for him.
Brody Smith has traditionally played fairly well in Emporia at both of the courses they'll be playing. Because I forgot they're going to play Country Club as well.
Right.
For those of you who don't know, that they'll play Country Club as well as Jones Supreme or whatever they named it. And he's traditionally played very well in Emporia, above his rating a couple of different times. So his rating's creeping up, meaning that if he plays 40 points above his rating again, like he did last year, that gives him a very solid opportunity to be top three.
Yes. I'm looking. Okay, there he is. I was like, I don't even see Brody. But yeah. Um. Uh, for me, my top three is going to be Wild. Don't think anything about it. Um, but
Don't worry too much about it. Don't
yeah.
worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry
So
about it.
it's going to be Ricky taking it down.
Okay.
In a playoff against Gavin Rathbun,
Woo-hoo.
which is going to come in second.
Spicy.
Yeah. And then rounding out top three, I truly think that like Paul's either in contention to win or he's out of the top three. I don't think he's gonna be there this week, but I'm throwing Garrett Girthy in there. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah. So Ricky, Gavin, Garrett. Now that's some wild picks. Okay, I understand, but I'm with it. I think this is right, and I could have easily took Garrett or Gavin as a dark horse at this point in the season.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
but my dark horse is going to be Gavin Babcock. His spin
All right.
putt and his step putt could be very useful in the wind. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
More for Gavin, I'm just interested to see how his tee work plays in the wind because I don't think we've
yes.
seen a whole lot of that just yet. Um, and he
One of
does
it's proven
he
to
does
be though.
throw moderately flippy discs a lot of the time as well, which does not play in the wind.
But no, let's see. On Instagram, uh, I was actually talking to him on Facebook, uh, and his favorite discs are the D1. So it's like Chris Dickerson with the Force. That's basically the same disc,
Yeah,
and
but Chris Dickerson with a force that's not a force either.
it's still a Force. But he has, he has all different variants of them. And he said,
Yeah,
out in the wind, he said, there's nothing better than his D1. So we'll see.
true.
We'll
For
see.
me, it's just does he play or can he play at a championship level with with that wind? It's just yet to be seen. I'm not saying he's not going to. I'm just making an observation.
Right.
But I think they are great picks.
Yes. They are oddball picks,
Absolutely.
but I think they are good picks.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
no,
think the
like,
biggest wild card of all your picks is Garrett Gurthie.
yeah,
When push comes to shove, and the only reason I say that is he's going to throw fine
it's
out
his
there. We know
putting.
he's hyzer putts in the wind, like his extreme hyzer putt, very dangerous in the wind.
Yep.
Anything could happen. And the worst part about hyzer putting in that type of wind are the rollaways. I
Yes.
know from experience because I used to be an extreme hyzer putter.
Yep.
And if he can nail his putts, then yes, you're 100% correct.
But I also want to shout out because I think that Simon will do great, and I wanted him to be in my top three. So, I mean, I'm a Simon fan, so there's that.
Yeah. As for Paul Macbeth, your comments on Paul, I avoided him because the both of these courses play very long.
Yes.
Um, and yes, he's played very well through his injury the last couple of weeks. But when you have to go out there and throw full power off the tee and from the tee to the green, you're
Yeah.
talking probably somewhere in the range of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus 1, 2, 3. You're talking 40 full power pulls every day for 4 days. How is his elbow going to hold up?
Right.
I'm curious because the tricep. So the thing is, it's funny how he talks about the elbow and then his tricep, and the elbow is affecting his forehand the most, but the tricep is very, very detrimental to the backhand. And when you have to pull full power 40 times a day for 4 straight days, that try is going to be hurting. So I 100% agree with the not picking Paul there because I don't know how well he's going to play that last day. Deep courses, man.
Yeah. And that's if he plays. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's still
Well,
potential that he could drop.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all we got.
That's it.
All right. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up then. Guys, we really do appreciate everybody, guys and girls. Uh, Thank y'all for listening and watching, interacting with all of our social medias and our podcast. We are eternally grateful. And
We are eternally grateful.
yeah, there it is. And continue to tell other people about us. The word of mouth is the best way to grow. And we are going to continue to do this thing, do our best at it, and continue to try to bring you some at least higher quality disc golf content.
Yeah.
And, we're just going to continue to get better. But
Yeah.
with that being said,
I,
thank you
I
all.
got
One more
yeah, I got
thing.
one more thing. First of all, there have been a ton of newcomers between socials and listeners overall. To all of the newcomers, welcome. We really appreciate you stopping in and listening and
Absolutely.
starting to enjoy our content. But I also wanted to shout out there are a few people who have been with us since day one and are still continuing to listen and follow strong with us. Super appreciation to you guys, especially since you've
Absolutely.
been with us to the beginning. Um, it means so much to us.
It really does.
I can't even explain how much it means for anybody who's been with us since the train wrecks of episodes 1 through 5,
Yeah.
all the way to episode 20. Again, I mean, I can't believe we've even made it this far. It's awesome.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, all right. We're going to go ahead and close it out. We do appreciate everybody. Everyone have a great night, great rest of your week, great day tomorrow. Get out there, go play, go watch some good disc golf. We will see you
Enjoy DDO
guys.
this weekend.
That's right. And some of Daniel's tweets. And we will see you guys next Tuesday, potentially. Laters.
I'm gonna say Tuesday's set in stone,
Yeah,
but going forward, let us know if you want to change the day.
right. Absolutely.
Peace.
Peace.